Hello everyone, my name is Havian and today I am playing YS VIII, Lacrimosa of Dana. On Facebook and Twitter recently I did ask what kind of games would you want to see me playing between now and the end of the year, and this was one of the games that popped up in there. And it's a game that I've been curious about myself, but I never got around to playing it, but I thought I'd try it now. Since a lot of you want to actually see it, and since I've actually got an opportunity to play it, I thought I'd try it and show you what the game is all about, for those of you that are interested, and for those of you that probably do like action RPGs and are interested in seeing a game that may come over to the West at some point. I mean, there's been no announcements as of right now, as of recording, but there's a chance it could come over. So I thought I'd show you exactly what this game's all about. It is, well, from what you can see so far, you can tell it's an action RPG. And it's a game, well, I guess I can go over what the game, or how the setup of the game. So basically, you're on a ship right at the beginning, and your party gets shipwrecked. And now, well, pretty much you get shipwrecked as Adol. Like, I guess he's the main character of this game. He gets shipwrecked at the beginning, he's on his own. But as you go through the storyline, you end up meeting other people, and then eventually you find yourself a little base camp. So basically, the flow of this game is you have one base camp, or there's one location on the map that acts as your base camp. And right now, as far as I'm into the game right now, it's just a matter of me trying to find as many survivors as I can while building up the base and pretty much trying to discover what is going on in the island I'm on, or what's happening where I am, and trying to figure out if I can find more people and if I can actually, I guess, make it out safely or make it back home safely. But so far it's been a lot of fun. It reminds me a lot of games like Tokiden 2 and Xenoblade, the whole open world, gather materials, find new people, do quests, return to your base, upgrade your equipment, go out so you can discover areas that are a bit further along. It seems to be a game where you're constantly trying to push your way forwards and trying to upgrade your character so you can move a little bit more forwards, killing bosses, killing bigger enemies for materials, upgrading your equipment so you can press forward even more. But it seems like now I've got a little barrier here that I can't cross, and it seems like the only way you can cross certain barriers in the game, or certain areas in the game, or it seems like they've locked progression behind the amount of people you've found in the world so far. It seems like this area I'm in right now, or this part of the map, it seems like I'm gonna need a few more people before I'm allowed to open that. So I'm gonna go over to it. It says that I'm gonna need 14 people, but I've only found 9 people so far. So this is an area I'm not gonna be allowed to progress past. But while I'm on the map, let me take a look. This is my base camp. This is pretty much where you start off at the beginning of the game. Like, you start off roughly around here, but then you make your way over to the camp. But from this camp, you're gonna be upgrading everything and then trying to push it forward as much as possible. It seems so far I've only found 15% of all the things I can on the map. So I've got quite a bit of a journey to go. All of the yellow areas that are marked are more of the open world areas. Then you'll find the red areas are dungeons, and you can see this dungeon is huge compared to a lot of the other areas you see on the map. So far I've only found 2 dungeons. I've got one dungeon that's like over here. Then I found 3 dungeons. I've got this dungeon, this pretty huge one, but the only other dungeon I've found, I've pretty much just found the entrance to it, then left, because that area was way too high level. Because this game seems to focus a lot on discovery, you can run into areas that you're not meant to be in yet, and you can still explore them if you're capable enough to actually take them down. It seems like I guess I've got far enough. I can handle, with the way I've got my party set up at the moment, I can handle enemies at a slightly higher level, but I can't go crazy with trying to take on the big guys, because I'm gonna probably get steamrolled. But I'm gonna go ahead and head back to camp, because it doesn't seem like, because I've got this blockade here, it doesn't seem like I'm gonna be able to progress any further in this area, so I need to go and explore somewhere else. There are a few other areas you can explore, but all of these X's at the moment are all areas that have been blocked off because I can't progress, because I need to find more people to help me move the obstacles in the way. So I'm gonna head back to base, and then I'm going to move on from there. There are a few different activities you can do in this game. So far, from what I've seen, there's going to be killing enemies to gather materials. Then you can do fishing as well. You're going to need to gather materials for that so you can craft new stuff. Let's see. Let me head over to my little workbench. Before I found her, there wasn't a lot of upgrading I could do. It was pretty much just an anvil in this area. But then I found this lady, and now she can actually help me craft a lot more things. So now I can like convert the weapons I found into totally new ones once they reach like a maximum level. And I can craft armor as well with her. Before, all I could do was just level up the basic weapons I had from the beginning, but now I can do a lot more now that I found a person that can go into the area. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a bit of upgrading. Let me upgrade his weapon. So I found enough materials for it, so I'm gonna upgrade it another stage. Nice, so I've got that to maximum level. I can't upgrade it anymore. Maybe I need to progress in the story a little bit more before she's gonna know how to upgrade it to the next stage. Then we got armor as well. I don't think I need to craft any of these. Actually, I want to craft this. And I'm going to give this armor to... I'm going to give it to her. Because it seems like these two, I've given them some fairly decent armor, so I'll give her the strength one. But there are other places inside of here as well. You got a quest board that will tell you if any of the people in the town have any requests for you. Because you'll need to, if they have a quest for you, then you'll need to go out into the world and just... These like... I guess they're like side quests. The game's got its own overarching story going on. But on this board, you'll find a few assignments that some of the people in the town will have for you, so you can upgrade the village or your base. And then we got this dude. He's the guy that crossed my items for me. I only found him recently, but I don't have the items that I actually need for crafting stuff. I've got enough for these items. These I believe are for like getting rid of my status effects like poison. And then I've got my HP recovery and resurrection items here, but I don't have, from the looks of it, I need an empty bottle, but I don't know how to find any empty bottles. So I'm assuming the best way to find an empty bottle is to do some fishing. I'm just gonna assume that's the way to do it. So I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna see if I can do a bit of fishing here, because you can do fishing at the water's edge when you do see fish swimming around. So I'm gonna go ahead and hopefully I can do some down here. Yes, I can. So if you push up on the D-pad, you can cast your line. And then hopefully it'll be within reach of the... No, it's not even within reach of the fish. Let's try a little bit further. We good? We're good. Then you should just sit and wait until one bites, and you can reel it in. And then you just spam circle, and then you can catch it. But sometimes the fish are more aggressive, so you'll need to spam circle while pushing the directional buttons in the areas where they tell you to. So that was a bit of an easy catch. I'll probably see if I can do some fishing in a slightly harder area, but that was an easy catch. Don't need to worry about there for now. But from what I've seen so far, there doesn't seem to be much else in this particular area. But this area over here is for more of the emergency type missions that pop up. It happened randomly I think it happened as part of the storyline. I don't know if they're going to happen randomly later on. But there are missions that you have to do to defend your base camp when they're getting attacked by monsters. So no matter what when you're in the world and you see an icon pop up on the corner of the screen letting you know your base is under attack, you need to return to defend it. So I can go ahead, once you complete those missions, you're allowed to redo them. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what those are like. And from what I've seen so far, you get a ton of materials from them. So I kind of like rushing those missions because they're pretty fun to do. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. So usually it flows with, you'll have like multiple waves of fights, and you'll need to fight the enemies off and make sure they don't destroy your base camp. You have some areas, you have some of these little constructions that are like decoys, where the enemies will focus on attacking those first. So you can use that to your advantage, because you know the enemies aren't going to go directly after your base. So I'm gonna try my hardest to make sure they don't finish the base off. Or make sure they don't finish off any of the decoys. And I guess while I'm doing this, I can explain how the combat system works. Oh, he's going for the base. So if you push circle, you're gonna do normal attack. Triangle is going to lock onto any of the characters or any of the enemies you have on the screen. Then you have X to jump. Then if you hold R and then push any of the face buttons, you'll do the special moves that you got assigned to that button. And if you push L, then you're going to do an evasive roll. Now on top of that, if an enemy hits you, or tries to hit you, if you push L and evade at the right time, your time will slow down for a little bit, but I guess you gain some invincibility frames until it wears off. Oh, Doggy's jumped in and he's done his special move, and he's just killed everything that spawned. So you get a few invincibility frames on the roll, but if you block instead at the same time as the enemy, then you will go into a mode where all of your hits are critical hits, and I believe you regain your SP a lot faster as well. And the SP is going to be used to do your attacks. And while you're in combat, enemies are going to have their own strengths and weaknesses. So when you hit an enemy and you see like blue damage, you'll know that an enemy is strong against that damage type. So what you'd want to do is switch to the character that has the opposing damage type, or has the damage type that's strong against that particular enemy. And then you'll be able to do more damage on them. So I'm going to see if I can... Oh, these enemies are dying way too quick, but I'm going to see if I can get to an enemy that lives a little bit longer, so I can actually do the evasive maneuvers, so you can see the buffs you get from them. So you can see the parries and the dodges you get from him. Right, so this is another wave of the base defense done. So let's wait for the final wave. I believe on this wave like a mini boss spawns. Let's see, where are you? Alright, you've got some more wolves, but I know there's like a mini boss at some point. Just need to make sure they don't destroy any of the decoys that have been set. Alright, let's switch to Laxia. At least I think that's her name. I'm pretty sure I remember that being her name. Alright, I think the boss should be spawning now. Alright, that's not the boss. Soon. It's like meant to be some like turtle slime dude that's meant to spawn, from what I remember. We'll give it some time. It's looking like this wave is going to be ending like pretty soon. Now Doggy's jumped into the match. It seems like all of the people that you've got within the town assist you during these fights. So they'll jump in the corner of the screen. You can there it is. In the corner of the screen, you'll see that there's an icon. There you go. There's my evasive roll. So now I can go crazy with some attacks now, because I got a perfect dodge on that. But you'll see that every now and then, when the circle fills up in the corner of the top right-hand corner of the screen, that character will assist you in the fight. Usually they'll just give you buffs. Doggy seems to jump in and do an AoE attack. Then you have other characters that will just heal you up and do other random things. It just depends on the character. But here we go, I completed that. Stage is complete. Well, I guess I'll go out into the open mode and show you a bit of that, now that you've seen what the town defense is like. S rank. Oh, nice. Do I get any good rewards for this? Delicious. Now I can use all of those for crafting. It seems like I've got a extra item for getting S rank. So despite all of this happening, there is still going to be a main storyline happening as usual, as you can expect. But I'm going to go ahead and teleport to another area that I've got on the map. So I'm going to go ahead and I should go into the dungeon to show you what's inside of there. The dungeons are usually more of a challenge. Or I can continue pushing forward to try and get to another area of the storyline. These marked areas are areas you need to go for the story. But you'll have other areas in the map. You're kind of free to explore where you want. As long as you can get into an area, you can explore it, and there's a good chance you're going to find something. There's people that I found in like a high level dungeon that I guess I'm not meant to be in at any moment, at any point, like right now. But let me head down there. I went into a dungeon that I'm not really meant to be in right now, but I still found some new citizens and I brought them to the town. But I can still push forward with the storyline if I want to, or I can go ahead and just explore. You've got a lot of freedom to do kind of what you want, and just make sure you do a lot of upgrading on your character. So far I found quite a bit of equipment. Or so far I found loads of materials. I got these gloves in the dungeon. These gloves let me climb vines. So it seems like there's going to be a lot of field related items that are going to let you do certain things on the world map or in the areas. But it seems like you need to switch them out and equip the ones that you'll need for that particular moment in time. Since I've only got gloves at the moment for climbing vines, that's the only thing I've got equipped. But it seems like later on they're going to add more. It seems like I've got loads of materials. I've just been gathering materials, so I won't need to worry about upgrades. I only need to gather way more of these because they seem to be used for upgrading your equipment. So I need to get a ton of them. But the world is dangerous. Like, I learned the hard way. I was like, okay, anything I see, I'm gonna run into it and try and fight it. Big mistake. That was a mistake. Let me see if I can find the area that I'm talking about, because there was a random area on the map where you're just walking, and oh wait, no, I think it's right here. There was a T-Rex roaming. I didn't realize a T-Rex was gonna tear me apart. I thought, okay, T-Rex, big boss enemy on the map, maybe I can just fight it. Maybe it's just like a wild boss. Oh, it's a wild boss, but it's not a wild boss you want to mess with. It one-shot me, so that I'm assuming there's gonna be loads of areas in the game where you're gonna come up against enemies that are way stronger than you are, that you can actually go back to and challenge later on, which is something I like about these games that are slightly more open worldish, and they mask it so you can't even see it properly. I'm probably gonna you know what, save the game. I'm gonna step out there and get torn apart by this thing. And while I'm inside of this menu, I can show you the item menu. So you already saw that. Then you got a skill menu, so you can assign the skills you want to the button once you've unlocked them. It seems like you unlock skills when you reach a certain level, but you can level up the skills by continuously using them. And that'll be the same for all the other characters. Then you can set up your party members. I haven't unlocked any more party members, but I believe there is going to be someone else that joins the party really soon because I've seen him walking around. Just need to do a few more things before he joins the party. Then you have your equipment menu. You can equip different outfits if you have them. That's the equipment. That's the outfit that I started off when I was working on the ship, and it seems you have accessories that you can equip to. Then you'll have the crafted equipment, all the equipment that you find in the world in treasure chests that you can equip to your characters. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can. I'm gonna see if I can find T-Rex. He's probably just in the. Okay, there's an icon on the map. Level 15 thing. It's just a normal creature. That's fine. Usually, when the floor starts shaking, then you know it's around. Is it? Now I'm wondering, is it an enemy that's always around? Oh! I was about to say, I wonder if it's an enemy that's always around or just randomly spawns, but he's there. He's there. He's there. What level is it? Level 42. Okay. Alright. We're gonna just escape. We're not gonna. If you hold down the roll button, then you can sprint. What's it gonna do? Alright! If you hold down the roll button, then you can sprint, and that lets you move around the map a lot quicker than usual. I found myself in I can't remember if I think it was East VII, where instead of running, I would just spam roll because you just moved around the map way quicker, or at least it felt that way. Just spamming roll just made you move around the map quicker. I'm just glad they added an actual sprint to the game, because now I can move around the map at a decent pace and not have to worry about spamming roll. It felt weird instead of having to roll around the map to move quicker instead of not just running. But I like the fact that they've actually added that. And let me see if I can find myself a slightly harder enemy so you guys can see. I'm going to use my extra attack or extra skill, which is more like a super attack. But I'm going to see if I can find an enemy that will be able to handle getting smacked with that. Let me go into the dungeon. Because I just finished this dungeon. It had like a boss right. Like as you go through the dungeon, you'll find slightly harder enemies than usual. Then you'll find, I guess you can say, you'll find slightly harder enemies, and then you'll find like an end boss as you get to the end of it, which is like much harder, and you'll need to pay attention to what it's doing. The last boss I had a fight with was like a chameleon that would go invisible while you were fighting it, which was a pretty interesting fight. I mean, it wasn't anything amazing, but it was different. The end of dungeon boss fights are different from what you'll usually see in the game, basically. Compared to some of the other mini bosses you'll find on the map. I mean, it was no T-Rex, but it was still a fun boss. But so far, I've only been into 2 dungeons in that game. It feels like I've been playing the game for about 12 hours, but it feels like because I'm going out of my way, like I saw things saying that the game's going to be roughly around 40 or so hours, but it seems like there's a lot left for me to do because I'm not trying to rush through the story, because I'm just going around and just exploring things. It feels like it's going to take a lot longer. So let's see what is down here. I'm pretty sure, from what I remember, there's meant to be, there we go, crab. Giant crab. This crab is slightly stronger. Even though it's level 13, it's one of the bigger enemies. So I need to switch to, his name's Sahad. I need to switch to him because he does attacks that actually damage it. There we go, flash guard. Oh, now all of my attacks are critical. Flash move because I evaded at the right time. And then I'm gonna use flash guard again because I blocked at the right time in. So if you get them right, then you can actually end up shelling out a lot of damage because you'll be getting critical hits and because you'll be invincible. And if you hit the enemies with their weakness, then you can break their guard down, and all of the other party members will be able to do like decent damage on them. But until you break their guard, or until you use the character that is strong against them, you won't be able to do too much damage with them with a character that's not the right affinity. So let me go and do some more fishing. Hopefully I'll find a fish that puts up slightly more of a fight. I threw that way too far. Let's try that again. Let's actually aim at the fish. Let's try that one more time. Let's actually aim at the fish. Let's try one more time. There we go, got it first try. Perfect. Let's see if I can get a fish that's slightly better than the last one I got. One that puts up more of a, there we go, this one's putting up a fight. Give me my fish. Sometimes when you get fish, they come with other items, so you'll grab a fish, but that fish will give you, there we go, more materials. Let me get out of this pool. See if I can climb up to the top. So this is what the gloves do. The gloves let you climb up these vines. It feels Zelda-ish, where you're having to like find these little items to help you progress through the like more of an open world, I guess. All right, come on, let's get up here. I just want to see what else is in. Even though I've already done this, I just want to see what else is in the area. Alright, let me head back to the previous area. The previous area had like a mini boss for the dungeon. So you'll see that the area is slightly more opened up. Not this particular zone, but the one that I'm heading over to. But if I'm remembering right, there's like a giant crab somewhere. There it is. There's the crab. But the crab isn't the mini boss. It's just one of the harder enemies that you'll find inside the dungeons. But I'm gonna go ahead and use, after I've broken his guard, I'm gonna go ahead and use my special on it. Or I could always use my special to break its guard. I guess that is an option too. There we go, broken its guard. Now I'm gonna switch to Adol, and then we're gonna use his extra skill. Every character's got their own unique one. Dead. I kind of wonder if it died before I even used that, or if it died because I used it on the first hit. I didn't see any of the damage numbers on there. But yeah, all of the characters are going to have their own unique one. But all of the characters share the same resource bars. So basically, all of your SP and everything like that is shared between all of the characters. So essentially, the whole party, even though the AI is there, it doesn't really do much. But the whole party is gonna be sharing the same resources. But another thing I guess I should mention is the fact that you're gonna be you're going to be, this tree was up before, but because you're going to be doing a lot of exploration, you will be able to push down certain obstacles and create shortcuts for yourself. So that's how you're going to be able to move across the map a lot quicker. So it's going to be, think of it like this. You're going to be in your base camp, and then from your base camp, you're going to be pushing forward bit by bit by upgrading your equipment, defeating bosses, and then unlocking shortcuts so you can make it back to those areas a lot quicker when you're returning from your base. Even though there is teleportation, there is going to be this feeling where you're constantly trying to push forwards bit by bit, which kind of does remind me of a few other games out there that act similar. And I guess another thing I should mention is at campfires you can craft food, and that you can use that food to give yourself buffs or to recover a bit of health. So far I've only got one recipe. There's no campfires nearby here, so I can't really show you it. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've seen in this game so far. It is pretty fun. I can't see the game changing totally, so it seems like this is going to be more of an exploration, craft and upgrading game with the usual East combat system and Falcom music and storyline. But so far the game's a lot of fun. I am going to be making some more videos of import games very soon, so if you want to see more of those, then I suggest you subscribe. If you want to stay up to date with everything I'm doing, then I suggest you follow me on Facebook or Twitter. And if you want to see my live streams, then I suggest you follow me on Twitch. All of the links are in the descriptions. I will be making some more videos very soon, but until then, I'll see you all later.